Hello and welcome to this screencast where we are going to be talking about the Ruby on Rails framework. This is an introduction to Ruby on Rails. Now, Ruby on Rails is commonly known as Rails. It is a framework used for developing web applications. This framework was created by David Hannemeier Hansen from a project management tool that he was working on at Basecamp in 2004. To install Rails, please see screencast number 7, where I talk about how to install Rails. I actually point you to a tool that you can use to install Rails. And then to learn more about Rails, visit the Rails Guides website, and we're going to do this together. So this is really for the beginner web developer, a software developer. I want to guide you through this. If you are comfortable with the reading documentation and going through a tutorial on your own, you probably don't need to follow along. But if you're someone who needs a little more guidance, this is you're in the right place. Okay, so you go to http://guides.rubyonrails.org. I'm gonna highlight it right now. Oh, it won't let me highlight. Okay, never mind. It's the last link down here. All right. So next, let's go to the next step, which is right here. Yesterday, this morning, I actually released. I released this video. It says screencast number 10. So on version control. So what we're going to be doing is continuing from this. We're going to build on this, and you will notice I have other screencasts here. Feel free to look through this, where I'm I geared this for the beginner level. These are the kind of screencasts that I wish I had when I got started. So they may be a little random, but some of them might be helpful to you. So go ahead and check them out. A lot of the things that you'll be seeing me do in the terminal are things that I've already talked about here. Okay, so next we want to get started, right? But let's continue from the GitHub. Like I said, if you had not watched this, you do want to watch the screencast because I'm simply continuing. Here's GitHub. We're going to sign in. And then once we get here, we will go to our terminal. So command spacebar, iTerm is what I use. You might just want to do term if you use the terminal that comes with your Mac. Okay, most of these commands are going to work for you if you're on a Mac or on a Unix machine, on a Linux. Okay, so to create our first new Rails project, we are just going to type in Rails new blog. Okay, and then I'm going to give mine a unique number. So because I think I already have a blog in Git repository, so I'm going to call it 522. Okay, you can call it whatever. You don't have to put a number in there. You can just say my new videos, my new cat, whatever. Hit return. This will get our project going. It will create a bunch of files and folders for us to use. Then next we want to split this horizontally. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to split it horizontally because I want to run my server on one side and I want to run commands on the other, and I want you to be able to see everything. So Command Shift D will give us a horizontal split. And I do talk about this in one of my videos. I don't remember which one it is. It's one of the first ones. And then Command D will give us a vertical split. Okay. But before I do that, I don't want to, let me exit. Exit will get us out. Let me get into the project first. So CD blog. Okay, now I will do the splits. Command Shift D. A lot of this is repetition, so it's okay to hear me say this again. The more you repeat, the more these commands become muscle memory. So there we are. We have at the top there is where I usually use this is where I have my text editor, and I use Vim. So I just say Vim, and it will drop me into my text editor. And then on the right, I'll fire up the server, Rails S. You can type it all in like server, or you can write out server, or Rails S is the quickest way to get to it. And then you see what it says here. It says listening on TCP / 000 3000. That's the server running on our local machine. So we can now see our project using our browser. And if we go to our browser here and we type in localhost 3000, hit return, we will see that here is our project. We now have our project running on our local server. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is add our project to GitHub, to a remote repository. So the way we do this is you logged into GitHub like I showed you earlier. Now we click on where it says the plus sign and then new repository. Once we have this ready, we just give this repository a name. I usually just match the names, blog 522, like the project. And then you see the green button at the bottom there, just create. You click on it where it says create repository. And as soon as it is ready, we're just going to get the two commands, the git remote add origin and the git push origin master. Okay, so let's just copy these and then go back to our terminal. And then we're going to add them to GitHub. The first thing we want to do is run the following commands: git add, so it's git add dot, and then git commit -m. Then we write a commit message. Our first commit message is just going to be called the initial commit, or whatever you want to call it, initial commit. Make it something that is useful to you or someone. You might want to pretend you're working with someone, like a teammate who's going to be reading your commit message, wondering what did you do, and they can see, oh, that was just the initial commit. Hit return, and then now we can paste in those two commands we copied from GitHub by hitting Command V, and then you see there they are at the bottom. There's the git remote add origin, and then there's git push -u origin master. Once I hit return, our project, the entire project, this whole thing that you're seeing here, you see where it says app bin, this is all our project, the Rails project is going to be pushed to our remote repository. So we click on here, and when we hit refresh, we will see the same structure that is on our computer. You see now we have added our project to version control. So our next steps is, please go to Rails Guides, click on Getting Started, and go through this tutorial. So you probably might not need to add Rails because you might have it already. So just check the version of Rails that you have. Let me show you the version of Rails that I have. So you can see, so I'm going to clear, I'm on the bottom left here. I'm going to say Rails -v. That's how you check the version of Rails that you have. And I have 5.2. And then the version of Ruby-V is 2.5.1. Okay, so those are the versions of Rails that I have. So back to Rails. We've already done this part where we created the new blog. So we're going to create this project. You don't have to wait for me. But when I see you next time, we're just going to continue with this tutorial. It's going to take a life of its own as we move along, especially when we get to the end here, where where you are adding your login and logout. We're going to use something different. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please send them to feedback@zambezi.app. Again, it's feedback@zambezi.app. Have a great day. Goodbye.